Your school taught you maths, they taught you science, English, but nobody taught you this. Every successful person you admire, the wealthy, the focused, the ones who seem to have it figured out. See, they're not lucky, they are not smarter. They learned a set of rules that most people never even heard about. Today, that's going to change. Picture this, two people, same 24 hours, the same set of opportunity. One is always left behind, always reacting, always stressed. The other one, he's building, growing, compounding. Do you know what the difference is? See, one of them actually knows how the game works. Folks, here are five laws running your life right now. Law 1, Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will. See, in 1949, aerospace engineer Edward Murphy was actually running a test on human declaration. Every single sensor was installed the wrong way. Every one. The frustration actually went on to become a law, and it applies to your life more than you know. Let me quote another example. NASA actually lost two shuttles, not from lack of intelligence, but from underestimating what could go wrong. See, aviation learned this lesson very early. Every commercial plane you actually sat in has redundant systems stacked on top of redundant systems. That's not fear, that's professionalism. The question isn't if something breaks, it's when and whether you're ready when it does. Here's the message. Before your next big move, map out what could fail. Your plan B is actually not your weakness like people have painted it. It is the difference between people who quit when things go wrong and people who keep moving anyways. Law 2, Parkinson's Law. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. British historian Cyril noticed something bizarre when he was working in the British civil service. The more staff they hired, the less work they got done. The more time they gave a task, the longer it took, regardless of complexity and the nature of work. He actually went on to publish it in The Economist. It became one of the most cited laws of human behavior. A study actually done by Microsoft found that when remote workers were given flexible, open ended deadlines, productivity actually dropped by 30%. But teams with tight, specific deadlines consistently outperformed. See, the human brain doesn't operate on comfort, it operates on urgency. Here's what we're going to do. Let's cut our timeline in half on the next project that we will be working on. Not because it's comfortable, because discomfort is where output actually lives. Law 3, the 80-20 rule. 80% of the results come from just 20% of the efforts. Italian economist Valfredo Partedo noticed that 80% of Italy's land was just owned by 20% of the population. He actually went out to check this. Funnily, he went to his garden and he actually observed that 20% of his pea pods actually produced 80% of the peas. He went on to check it with businesses, breaking down business models after business model. The pattern held everywhere and even today does. See, this isn't theory. Microsoft's own engineers actually confirmed that targeting the top 20% of reported bugs fixed 80% of errors users actually experienced. In sales, in content, in relationships, a small number of inputs drive almost all the outcomes. Now, here's the thing, you already know what moves the needle in your life. the habit, the client, the skill. You just haven't given yourself permission to cut everything else. That permission, that's what separates the focused people from the busy people. Law 4, the law of compounding. See, Warren Buffett is worth over $100 billion. Here's the part people don't talk about: 99% of that wealth was actually built after his 50th birthday. Not because he got smart after 50, because compounding had finally enough time to work. Compounding is a concept that is mathematically proven, right? If you just improve 1% every single day, you are 37 times better by the end of the year. Not 37% better, 37 times. But the same math works in reverse. Small, bad decisions repeated daily compound into a life you don't recognize. See, let's be honest, consistency is not glamorous. It doesn't feel like progress most days, but the curve always bends for the people who actually end up staying. Law 5, Diminishing Returns. Economists actually call this a law of diminishing returns. See, after a certain point, more input produces less output, and eventually, more input actually makes things worse. Stanford researchers tracked hundreds of workers and found that someone who's working 70 hours a week produced no more than someone working 55 hours a week. Zero additional input output, just more damage. And Matthew Walker's research on sleep showed elite athletes who extended their sleep cycle to 10 hours improved speed, accuracy, and reaction time by nearly 10%. Rest is not actually laziness, rest is performance. The most dangerous lie in the hustles culture is that more hours mean more results. It doesn't. A sharp version of you for 4 hours is worth more than a broken version of you for 12. Folks, protect your energy. It is your most valuable asset. Law 1, Murphy's Law. Prepare for chaos. Law 2, Parkinson's Law. Compress your time. Law 3, the 80-20 rule. Cut ruthlessly. Law 4, compounding. Stay consistent. Law 5, diminishing returns. Know when to stop. 5 laws. All of them are working on you right now, whether you use them or not. The difference between the people winning and the people wondering why they are not is simple. One group knows the rules. Now, you do. What you do next is entirely up to you.